interrupt. Like
Very
Netflix
good.
is just bullshit. Like
Yeah.
they do a lot of like foreign stuff that's like in different languages. Sometimes it's good. There's a few shows I like that were in a different language. But I think one of their big problems is they have too much time in between their seasons and their movies too.
Yeah.
I think they had a lot of good movies that they really fumbled the bag by just like Bright.
Yeah.
I think Bright was an okay movie, but it was a cool concept, and they had some momentum. They should have made another one within like 2 or 3 years. I think they really could have had a nice little trilogy.
Yeah.
Old Guard, I think like
They're still taking.
It's faded.
Extraction is just now coming out.
it's faded. Like
Yeah.
the hype is faded. Nobody like, especially these Netflix movies, like shoot 2 at the same time.
Yeah.
Like.
Put it in the contract. Marvel does that all the time. You have a 4-movie deal.
Yeah, I mean,
or
I'm
some
sure
shit.
they did, but they're just taking their sweet ass
Yeah.
time to shoot and release it. They should like Extraction, like you should be shooting these like back to back or something
Yeah.
like that, or even
Take
at the
the
same
summer
time.
off, go back in the fall,
Yeah.
whatever they do.
But now there's like so much time in between. You forget about them, and then there's like a glorification of it where it's like it's been so long, you're like it has to be good,
Yeah.
and people like are disappointed because it's been so long. And I think a little bit that's the same thing they do with their shows as well. It's just too much time in between. Like,
Yeah.
it's not like like Game of Thrones where it's like next year it's
Right.
on. Like it's like 2 years or like
Yeah,
2
they don't follow the traditional TV scheduling.
Yes, and it hurts them. I think.
Yes.
Because what Ozarks from 3 to 4 was 2 years.
Yeah. I think we talked about this. I forgot. Well, I don't know what. Maybe it was an episode we haven't put out yet, but I know we definitely talked about it here. The reason was for COVID stuff, but I will agree. In general, I'm not going to give the exceptions the benefit. There was a couple times there was exceptions.
Yeah, it was COVID. Yeah,
But
As a whole,
generally,
they still do
prior to that, they were doing that a lot. Even right now, they're still doing that a
Altered
lot.
Carbon, that was before COVID.
Yeah.
They had a really good first season, then they waited like 3 years to
Yeah,
get season 2 to come out, and it sucked. Like,
Speaking about like quality and quantity, or their shows, I want to discuss the shows a bit. I do have some stats here, but I'll save that. I keep mentioning them, but
He's very proud of his
I
stats.
really look at color coded and shit. Like, oh, it's just God, it's amazing. But yeah, speaking about their shows, recently, they whatever ones they have massive success on. Either social media speaking, obviously numbers speaking, and then what else? Social media rating. They don't really care about ratings for the most part, but social media, like people talking, and then obviously numbers matter. Because they haven't dropped anything original in a while, like nothing new that's really refreshing. They've dropped some limited series that have been pretty good, but if they want to do longevity, the only thing they keep pushing right now is, I actually wrote it down. I want to get that they're going to end soon here. I call them their money makers, their pride and joys, their babies. Umbrella Academy, that's leaving. This is their last season. Ozark's ended. I mean, it's ended, but that was one of their babies. Stranger Things, they are finally ending that. This is the final season, but they're gonna do like 4 fucking parts for that, so they're gonna milk it again. Peaky Blinders has ended. That was another big. Yeah, it's over. You season 5. That's coming out next year. But I said these are. I was looking up Outer Banks as well. We were gonna do an episode on that, by the way, guys. I got through the first episode and I was like, I can't do it. It was the worst show ever.
it has faded. I think that's another problem with their. It's like
They
go
milk
too
it.
long, and then it just they're just like living off this first season, and they don't think of a cool new original idea, and it's like, ugh, like
because they do like these social media moments, like, oh, it's good enough, so then we can get another season.
yeah, exactly. It's got a good trailer, and we're in France or wherever.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Hot kids and they're freaking
and we're in love.
Yeah, like fucking button up shirts with the buttons not done and
wavy hair.
And like I said, the first season was interesting. I mean, I thought I would have hated it, but I liked it. I did like the first season of Outer Banks. The second season was whack.
Yeah. This third season got awful.
Yeah, and I did it. I stopped watching because Tom said he wasn't going to. I watched like 3. It was okay, but no.
I couldn't do it. I felt like I was so annoyed, mad watching it. Just how bad it was. But yeah, back to the point is they're losing all of their shows. They've like sucked the teat off of like what they haven't set up anything, and maybe they haven't announced anything. Yeah, Witcher is just a done deal. It was already hard to watch the first season in the sense of introducing, like, just selling. It was a good show overall. The first season was really good, but if you're selling a show your first season, needs to catch you in the moment. Sean and I had to both sit through it, be like, okay, what's gonna happen?
Yeah,
it was a very
little,
slow start.
It was a very. I remember having to fast forward or rewind a lot of that.
Yeah.
Like, what the hell is?
It was a
on?
shaky first season, but like you got to understand it. But I think that is pretty critical for any show of any channel or anything. Is like you have to have a really, especially the pilot. The pilot has to be a really captivating, and then it has to hook you in the first season overall. But I